co-founder of Barbet, and we are at Manita today. Manita was actually one of the first customers of Barbet. They were one of the first people in Toronto to actually bring our products into their store. Katie, my sister, and I started Barbet back in 2020. Katie has epilepsy and she had a particularly bad seizure in March of 2020. Through that experience, she cut out a few things. Drinking alcohol was one of them, and with that, she was at different social events or trying to elevate a solo moment and wasn't able to because she was constantly kind of holding a pop or a soda with more juvenile branding or flavor profiles and nothing really that related to her as a modern human. She shared this experience with me over the course of the summer. She was constantly getting that question of why aren't you drinking, really felt discluded. And through that experience, we just started looking at what was out there. And we didn't really see anything on the market that was elevated in product, brand, or flavor. And so we very naively thought, how hard could it be to create one? And we set out on a journey to create Barbet. This is my first entrepreneurial journey, same with my sister. We are new to beverage, so pretty much everything was a challenge. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were super lucky that a lot of people in our network were really generous with their network, with advice, with recommendations for supply chain. We very naively said, how hard could it be to create a sparkling water beverage? And it is truly very difficult. There's a lot of components, and so again, it just came back to overcoming the challenge of starting. I think putting one foot in front of the other was the initial challenge, and then once we got the ball rolling, we were really lucky in that so many people were generous with their network. Definitely our flavor combinations. We like to take common ingredients and pair them with more curious ingredients to create these new melodies or these new flavors that we've put on the markets outside of like what we would traditionally talk about, which is a flavor profile. I think our fostering of community and really the community that's rallied around Barbet has been incredible. And then we also have a really strong give back initiative. So we partner with Save Our Scruff, Good to Be Good, and A Greener Future. So each can you purchase online or in store, we give back on your behalf. But we really do believe that the world would be a better place if there was less judgment in it. And so we really want to continue to create these inclusive spaces where you can kind of choose whatever adventure you want to go on and also do that at a larger scale. I think that dividing responsibilities is really interesting, especially in the early days. It's kind of all hands on deck. There's multiple fires, multiple little things that you didn't think about. So we really put our heads together from the very beginning to create everything that you see with Barbet. And then as we've gone on, we've started to pick apart different tasks here and there, but it really is a collaborative effort. About 6 months after launching Barbet, I was at a restaurant locally here in Toronto, and I actually bought a few cans for some of the servers that were working that evening. And one of the servers came up to me knowing that I was one of the co-founders and actually thanked me for creating Barbet, which was a pretty surreal moment. I mean, again, it was such a personal experience for Katie that we had created Barbet out of. And the server actually thanked us for creating the drink because they had just turned to sobriety or they were trying to drink less, and they couldn't find a drink that they felt comfortable taking to an event or to an experience where they felt included, and they had found Barbet as that drink. And so again, just thanked me for creating it, which is never really an experience that Katie or I thought would happen when we were creating this drink. This idea that perfection can equal the lack of doing something, and so if you're striving for perfection, you're actually gonna do yourself a disservice. You kind of have to put your product into the market. You have to see how people react, and I think the reality is nothing is ever going to be perfect. We're always going to be iterating, we're always going to be changing, and so I think striving for perfection can lead to a business dying before it even happens. And so I think just making sure that you get to a good spot where you're comfortable to put it out into the world, and then also comfortable to receive that feedback and change the product based off what you hear. Yes, so my memory box is, I actually have multiple of them for multiple different parts of my life, but it's just a box where I throw like concert stub tickets, plane tickets, receipts, photo booth photos, like anything really that holds any level of significance to kind of these smaller moments that sometimes go less celebrated. I just chuck them in a box, and every so often I'll go back and revisit them, but yeah, I've got a few of them hanging around.